Hi, I'm Rahan. Today we are discuss about the biochemistry of nitric oxide. So, what is nitric oxide? A free radical which is the both cytoprotective as well as tumor promoting agent is formed L-arginine converting to L-citrulline via the nitric oxide synthase enzymes. The reactions product of nitric oxide with the superoxide generates the potent oxidase reagent. So that is peroxynitrate, which is the main mediator of tissue and cellular injury. Peroxynitrate is the reactions towards the many biomolecules which include the amino acids, nucleic acids, based this is like a basis metabolic contained compounds. It is like nitric oxide is also capable directly interacting with the mitochondria through inhibition like respiration of by the permeable transition. So nitric oxide reaction with the nitric oxide metal ions, including the direct interaction with the metals or with the oxo complex, thereby reduction to lower valence state. Excessive productions of nitric oxide can be inhibited by the inhibiting synthetic pathway nitric oxide using the selective or specific nitric oxide synthase inhibitor or non-selective nitric oxide synthase inhibitor with respect to isoforms of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is also capable directly interacting with the nitric oxide is capable with the nitric oxide was discovered by colorless toxic gases. By the 1997 nitric oxide was shown to be actually produced in the body, and its roles is regulating the pressure blood pressure and become as well as established 2 years later. It's relevant that nitric oxide is by macrophages to kill tumor cells and bacteria. The discovery has opened new ways like the treatment of millions of peoples. Nitric oxide plays important role in the protections against the onset of progression of cardiovascular disease. The cardiovascular protect the effects of nitric oxide include the regulations of blood pressure and vascular tone, inhibitions of platelet aggregation and leukocyte adhesion, and prevention the smooth muscle proliferation. Any disturbance in the bioavailability of nitric oxide leads to a loss of cardiac productive actions, and in some cases may even increase the disease progression. So ultimately, what we are calling up nitric oxide, arginine is converting to acetylene by the involving of nitric oxide synthase, by the involving of calcium, and NADPH is converted to the NADP involving of oxygen also. Then we will talk about the nitric oxide endothelial nitric oxide synthase. It is constitutively expressed in endothelial lining blood vessel and depends on calcium. The nitric oxide produced by the diffuses them into the smooth muscle cells blood vessel and elect the cyclic GMP dependent smooth muscle relaxation and those increasing blood flow. Inducible nitric oxide synthase. This type 2 nitric oxide synthase, and it is induced by inflammatory stimuli, example cytokines or alveolus. So it is mainly expressed in macrophages, possesses the tightly bound calmodulin. Its synthesis can also be induced GL cells and liver and cardiac muscles. So neuronal nitric oxide synthase it is a neuronal nitric oxide synthase constituents expressed by in past synaptic terminus in neurons, and also is calcium dependent. It is activated by calcium influx caused by the binding of neurotransmitter glutamate to receptors in cell membrane. So some of the reductions, and we will talking about direct effect on nitric oxide. So this nitric oxide protect the tissue formation peroxide mediated damaged scavenger metal oxo species. It has been shown that to inhibit the lipid oxygenase activity, it reacts with the non-hemo iron at the site of activity. A heme protein cyclooxygenase involved into the conversions of arachidonic acid to prostaglandin and other related enzymes is also influenced by nitric oxide synthase radical reactions and metal nitric oxide synthase interactions. A possible mechanisms account for cyclic oxygenase inhibition by the superoxide involves the reductions of ferric to ferrous state. This process nitric oxide results in the scavenger superoxide which besides the preventing enzyme interaction also converts the any ferrous oxides to activate the ferric state. It is also reported that low concentration of nitric oxide directly effects will be predominant while at higher concentration of indirect effects of mediated nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is very well established, quite different from the other neurotransmitters like acetylcholine. Later, after a release from synapses last few milliseconds, whereas nitric oxide persists for the seconds, coupled with its rapid diffusion, unable to it encompasses several million synapses. So nitric oxide mediated the DNA damage. There are three mechanisms. First one is neurotransmission, like formation of neurotransmission. Second one is inhibition of DNA lesions like repair system, which is also mediated with the other genetic formations. Modification DNA directly into the directly by nitric oxide synthase. But this is the oxidation of product. Nitric oxide increases the patients in whereas upregulations of nitric oxide synthase, normal appearing vascular endothelial and also over the products expressions of the vascular soluble vascular molecules like CAM1 and VCAM and selections of were noted. There are therefore it appears endothelial plays an active role in leukocytes and antibody mediated inflammation. So some physiological actions, pathological actions on nitric oxide. These will be vasodilator, important regulation of blood vessels and neurotransmitters, role in long-term productions, and also a role in nitrotoxicity, like nitrotoxicity, like those are these things. Thank you.